Hello and welcome to the Epic Commerce tutorials. Today we'll be going through kind of after you've gotten things set up in the settings, how to actually start adding your items and getting things to go. So right off you may be thinking, okay, let's start in the items, which would be true except for the fact that when you're putting in the items, beforehand you want to set up things like shipping. Which stores will you be receiving them at, or will they come from the central warehouse? Set up your item categories, so that beforehand, you're not actually then trying to put in items and you don't have all the categories that you need. So diving right in here, initially you're going to want to set up your categories. So right over to item groups, you're simply just going to add every category and subcategories that you are planning to have. You can always add more later and change around where the items will be hosted in. But right off, if you haven't started already, just click on New Root Category and go ahead and start a new category. Edit or delete over here if that makes sense to do so. Keep in mind though that if you do delete a category, the items will then need to be reassigned into that category or another one. So once you have your categories, you're going to want to set up both variations on the products, such as color, sizing, model, make, etc. And we're going to want to set up our shipping options as well. So let's go over to settings, and initially we can just set up what we call custom fields. This way it makes it a little more flexible actually. As you can see, I already have put a couple in here: color, vendor ID, size, ring size. So in the custom field here, keep in mind this can be used throughout the entire system. So if you have trackers on your inventory items which are not in the base here, right, included on the item itself, simply put them in here on the custom field. You can, like I said, you have vendor ID. So if we add a new one here, if we just add make, field name can be choose your. You have a couple options on the drop-down. This can either be a text field, it could be a number field, or it can just be a select. If you hit the select option, under the item itself, you'll be able to add the different colors or sizes or whatever that it might be for that in particular item. So you'll see how these will show up later on. For now, we'll use these, and I'll show you later on how they come up. Now in the sub-accounts, tax settings, and shipping origins. First, you'll want to think about tax settings. If you're based in multiple different states, you can select the different state and the tax right there. This is going to apply to a person who is checking out within your state. So the necessary tax will still be charged to that person. As for the shipping origins, this is going to play into our items because we can select whether that item is available everywhere, i.e. from a central warehouse, whether it's available from a store, or whether it's also available for buy online and pick up in store. So go ahead and initially you can add an origin. I've already added a couple in here, so we'll go ahead into store one, and as you can see, with the first drop down we have the option to add it as a stock warehouse, a storefront, or use as your MailChimp address, which is going to be important for the inventory AI later on. But you'll just simply set, if it's a central warehouse, you'll just make one of those. If it is a storefront that's valid for pickup, you'll want to put as many storefronts as you are putting into the system so it knows. Once you have entered in the correct information there, go ahead and click update. And now we'll be able to use this in the origins when we're setting the items. Over to the items portion now. When we load this up, you'll see that all of your items are going to be listed out here. When you first add a new item, it will show up as this because it's just creating the initial ID in the system. From there, we're just going to click on edit. And once we're in here, you can see you have all the standard name, ID, SKU, pricing, quantities. And down here you see where we actually had initially set the variations, they'll show up. So now you see we have the vendor ID which was there, the sizing, which I've already added a few options. I'm going to add XL as another option. And so this is going to correspond for any one of these variations that you use within this product. Obviously, for ring size we can add them down there. and you can add custom fields as well. So with that, you have your description down here, the enable sharing button. If you're using it, as a featured item, to put it, if you've called that in your website that you want to have it show up as a featured item. Here's all of your categories, which were put in here beforehand from the item groups, and now you'll see why it makes sense to put them in beforehand. Over here on the right side at the top, you'll see that those stores we had earlier put in are going to correspond from where this item will be either shipping from, or if it's available for an in-store pickup. So once you have gone ahead and put in the correct shipping information, length, width, height, the actual shipping weight, you just want to save that information there. So all along the way, we always encourage everyone to go ahead down to the bottom and keep saving things, right? Don't want to have all that work done and then have it not save on you or something. In your variations, you'll notice that what you can do here is actually call on one of these variations and rename the price. So should you have one option which is pricier than the others, but you just want to keep the general options, you can simply come down here, enter the text exactly as it appears, have the override price, and you can either replace it or simply add on to it. So if the original price was $48 and we want to make it $58, we could just simply add $10 and have it as an add. And you'll see that will show down here. Add $10. So with that being said, a couple other key points about the items themselves. For the store options, in terms of where it's actually available, you can set different quantities and have the either allow pickup at the store or to do not ship there. And so with this, you're actually getting the omnichannel capability, which allows you to have different inventory levels at different locations and be able to service the customer from wherever it is most convenient to pick up or receive for them. Right, so that's how you're going to actually go ahead and edit the shipping options. Another very handy thing for some of the more technical people out there is the Snippet Generator, which this simply allows you to embed this one product within a landing page, a website, an email, etc. So what you can do is actually embed these individual buttons. This is part of the JavaScript front-end package that we included within the eCommerce system. This makes it really super easy to implement this item on a quick sale page, whatever it might be. Now one other piece here in the top right, we'll see the coupons. So for an individual item, you can set the coupon code and the new price, and then just simply click add. That then at checkout, obviously the customer, it could be a one-time unique coupon or it could be many. However, the inventory AI will help a lot with actually automating coupons and sending various discounts based off of purchase history, location, social media, email openings, past purchases, abandonment, etc. Another piece of this is the media, obviously. So if you have multiple images with multiple different colors, you'll want to simply go ahead and map it out. With this, what we're going to have here is all of the options over here. We can simply say, okay, this one is going to correspond with color, so this is going to be, not obviously, but this could be the blue dress. And once we save that, on the front end, the user is going to, once they select an option, that's the option that's going to appear in the images. So that just about wraps it up with the entire items in eCommerce. Now, this is one of the first steps that you're going to be coming to. However, if you haven't already, look into either a Shopify integration or Magento integration, which will actually automatically bring over all of your items. Additionally, within the settings, you have the option to import items. So you can simply download within here, an XLS or JSON file that once you import it, will actually allow you to map out which of the columns should correspond with which data point within the system itself. But typically you'd want to actually set up the item groups, and do some of the other settings within your origins, so that once you're actually mapping it, those options will show up on the data import. The same thing goes with media sets. As long as your media titles correspond with a column within your imported data set, it will actually import those direct media sets into the items themselves and have them mapped out. So very handy. Before you go through adding thousands of items, please reach out to a specialist at orkiv.com, and we can probably help you get that done quite a bit faster using some programming skills. So that just about wraps it for our intro on the items and grouping, shipping origins, etc. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Thank you much.